Welcome to Concourse Reconciliation Explained. Any company that is processing electronic payments is usually receiving transaction data from many sources. To determine financial equivalency and resolve any discrepancies between the different data sources, a reconciliation process must occur. This can get complicated for companies that process high volumes of transactions and receive data from many different sources. In this video, we will explain how Concourse Reconciliation enables payment processing companies to automate the transaction reconciliation process. To illustrate, we're going to show how Concourse Reconciliation is used by a company that processes millions of transactions every day and receives data from many different data sources. Okay, so here's Mark. He's in charge of transaction reconciliation for a large payments processing company. Throughout the day, he receives transaction data from his company's authorization system and many different payment networks. If Mark had to reconcile this data manually, it would be overwhelming. Thankfully, Mark uses Concourse Reconciliation to automate the reconciliation process. He likes Concourse Reconciliation because it is a rules-based system that he can configure with specific equivalency checks and tolerance levels. He also likes that Concourse automatically loads data from his company's authorization system and all the payment networks. As these transactions are loaded, Concourse Reconciliation automatically links the data from the different sources. As soon as the data is loaded and linked, the reconciliation process automatically occurs using the equivalency checks and tolerance levels configured in the system. Mark likes that Concourse can reconcile all the transaction data even if the data sources use different business day boundaries. He also likes that Concourse Reconciliation can perform both transaction reconciliation and balancing reconciliation. Transaction reconciliation matches transaction activity details between two or more data sources and provides a view of transaction discrepancies. Balancing reconciliation matches transaction amounts between two data sources and provides a financial summarization, including suspense totals. Anytime throughout the day, Mark can access the Concourse browser-based viewer and see the real-time status of reconciliation processing, net positions, suspense totals, and data discrepancies. With Concourse Reconciliation, Mark can also see the specific reasons for any discrepancies and quickly resolve exception items. Let's go through a quick example of how Concourse Reconciliation automates the reconciliation process. When a transaction is authorized by Mark's company, it is instantly loaded into the Concourse repository. Concourse then loads the related transaction data from the card network as soon as it becomes available. The authorization data and the network data are automatically linked together to create a transaction lifecycle. Concourse Reconciliation instantly identifies a discrepancy because the authorization data shows the transaction was fully reversed. However, the network data shows the transaction was approved. Because Mark has access to the transaction details and the reason for the discrepancy, he quickly researches and creates a dispute entry to correct the out-of-balance condition between his client and the network. This is just one example of how Concourse Reconciliation automates the reconciliation process. By leveraging the real-time, rules-based architecture in Concourse, companies can automatically load data from all transaction sources, link data and create complete transaction lifecycles, reconcile transactions from two or more sources, perform transaction and balancing reconciliation, configure tolerance levels for equivalency checks, assign reconciliation plans based on transaction attributes, verify reconciliation status in real time, perform queries on reconciliation results, easily identify the reason for a discrepancy, and quickly resolve exception items. Bottom line, Concourse Reconciliation is a proven solution that automates and streamlines the reconciliation process for electronic payment transactions. With Concourse Reconciliation, your company will be able to enhance operational efficiency, reduce financial risk, and provide superior exception management. This has been Concourse Reconciliation Explained. To learn more about Concourse Reconciliation, please visit www.bhmi.com.